town won't even dignify his ignorance with a response left to a crowded foster home by a 15-year-old mom. Never been held in anyone's arms. When you've never been moved, it's really hard to move on. A young saleswoman sets up shop when the sun sets. Should make you wow, this dream's come true. At a price you won't forget. The sadly married set up alibis. No harm, no regret. Hoping they meet an angel in bed that could wrestle the devil right out of their heads. The city runs fast. No one has time to sit with themselves. No time to look into our pain or see the same despair. But everyone else, it's here, it's there, it's everywhere. Tears soak each card the dealer's dealt. Time taught me how to see every second as heaven, even though they're perfectly disguised as hell. And I refuse to let past bruises cover the light. It ain't all good, but it's all good enough. So I know I'm alright. Agony is truth, it's our connection to the living. I accept it as perfection and keep on existing in the now. I can only build if I tear the walls down. Even if it breaks me, I won't let it make me frown. I'm falling, but no matter how hard I hit the ground, I'll still smile. I can only build if I tear the walls down. Even if it breaks me, I won't let it make me frown. I'm falling, but no matter how hard I hit the ground, I'll still smile. Ear to ear, as if that's all I'm here for. Despite the wars founded by the rich, funded by the poor, kids barely 18 are dying, so billionaires can make more. Elsewhere, hungry mothers watch the baby starve to death in a beat-up shack on a dirt floor. The aged professor quotes freedoms without a path. Now he dresses like a widow and preaches love is dead in every class. But curiosity killed the cat and taught the dog in him how to act. And it burned his bridge to Jill, so he tries to drown the guilt with a bottle of Jack. Self-proclaimed rebels say we must oppose the system. You gotta take a stand. If you're not against them, you're with them. The signs read, support the troops, bring them home, no more innocent victims. But when a homeless veteran asks for spare change, they're too busy protesting to even listen. And I'm no different, I live in conflict and contradiction. But it can be so beautiful when I don't reject what lies within. It's beautiful the way agony connects us to the living. I think of the world when I hurt and keep on existing in the now. I can only build if I tear the walls down. Even if it breaks me, I won't let it make me frown. I'm falling, but no matter how hard I hit the ground, I'll still smile. I can only build if I tear the walls down. Even if it breaks me, I won't let it make me frown. I'm falling, but no matter how hard I hit the ground, I'll still smile.
It's the local show on 89.3, The Currents. Starting out today's show, music from Dosh. That's Crawler from his new record, Silver Face. He recorded some stuff at McNally Smith, a live presentation of a new event that they're having there. It's called the Soundbite Series. And we've actually got the highlights from that night, which will be airing in the second hour of today's show. So stick around for more from Martin Dosh. And also Eyedea and Abilities from the By the Throat record. That was Smile. I'm joined in the studio now by Kathy Averill, Mikey Larson, a.k.a. Eyedea's mom, and Siddiq, the head of Rhymesayers Entertainment. You guys, thanks so much for coming down on the local show today.
No problem.
You guys are here to talk a little bit about an event that's happening next Sunday, the 16th of October, in Cherokee Park from 11 a.m. until 7 p.m. There's a dedication ceremony, a park bench and a plaque and a picnic table, which are going to be placed in Cherokee Park in memory of Mikey Larson. This is pretty exciting.
Yep.
So friends and family and fans, everybody can get together on next Sunday to hang out and tell stories and, share their experiences with Mikey. And Cherokee Park's an awesome place, by the way.
It is. It's very nice.
You chose wisely.
I did. I chose a place that we had grown up, and I chose the spot for the bench where Mikey and I had spent a lot of time. It's actually facing west, and it overlooks the river, and you can see Minneapolis downtown and St. Paul and
both cities from one spot.
Both cities.
Right on the edge of the river, and has a beautiful panoramic view of the Twin Cities, especially of downtown St. Paul. It's one of my favorite places. I grew up over there too, so it was always fun to barbecuing and hanging out, throwing the frisbee, playing tennis, whatever you like to do. Cherokee Park's a great place to do it. Should have no trouble finding it. What else do you have planned for the event, and why was this something that was important for you to do?
A dedication to me was important because I cremated Mikey, and a lot of people had been asking me where they could go to place flowers on his grave or visit him or just get inspired by him or be close to him. And since I cremated him, there isn't really that place that people can go. So we decided to check out and see how much benches and things would be in different parks around the city. And we decided on Cherokee because we can get a bench and a picnic table. Both of them will have plaques. It's someplace that he grew up and he wanted to be. So there people can go and they can put flowers, they can rest, they can get inspired, they can just sit and look and do what they want.
Sit and enjoy the view.
Yep.
What do you remember about Mikey and Cherokee Park? What was it? Well, what was little Mikey like?
Little Mikey was a terror.
I'm not surprised.
He always had to run the farthest, the fastest, climb the highest, get to the top of whatever tree he could.
He was an ambitious child.
Yes, very ambitious. And we used Cherokee a lot because we could walk from our house or we could walk from my folks' house. And so we would go and spend, the afternoon there. Or, when he was little, I'd put him on the back of the bike and we'd go and hang out. And it was just easy to calm him down if he was being, overly to be out in the nature. And we would walk up and down the trails and, we would hike down to the river and come back up. Then maybe he'd take a nap because we'd exhaust him a little bit.
Yeah. Run him down a little.
Yeah.
He was an active kid.
Yeah. Napping and sleeping were things that Mikey never did from the time he was born.
And that sort of ambitious approach to life, I think, was certainly evident in his musical career as well. When did he first get involved in hip-hop?
Well, Mike started breakdancing first. So he was, with Jason and Phil and Pete and Mario and all those guys in the Battle Cats. And so he was, I don't know, maybe 12, 13 when he started doing that. And then he always wrote, because the first poem he ever wrote, he wrote when he was in kindergarten. And so he just decided that he wanted to do both, be an MC and a breaker, but there wasn't enough time in the day to do that. You can't devote those many hours to both of those things, plus go to school, plus live, plus whatever you have to do. It just took too much dedication, so he had to pick one.
Being an MC, one out.
One out.
Siddiq, do you remember the first time you saw Mikey rap?
Yeah. It was at some random show. I can't remember where it was. And Felipe knew them. Sess and some of the guys from the pack knew him, and some of them were telling me, "Yeah, you got to check out these young dudes doing it," And I remember catching them that night and being like, "Man, these dudes are kind of dope." So I talked to him, and this is kind of like when Headshots really had some legs under it and was kind of really making a name for itself, and all the little crews within Headshots, and they were just full of energy. Very raw, pure hip hop, duo, and so it was dope. And so we ended up talking that night. And our thing back then was never like, "Oh yeah, we want to sign you" type of thing. It was like, "Yeah, start coming around and let's just hang out and let's create, and you're down, But it wasn't full on, so they were still kind of on the outskirts, but it was official that they could, come around and be a part of things. And then it kind of progressed from there. They played our 97 sound set. That was the first show that we did with him. Mm-hmm. And we put them on like, I don't know, it was probably like 5, 6 in the morning. Like, it was ridiculous. It was like, Soundset 97 was like, it was basically us emulating what the rave scene was doing. Mm-hmm. And we were just like, man, why don't we do this with a hip hop show?
You did an all-nighter?
We did an all-night hip hop show, basically. But it was, literally practically every group that was active in the Twin Cities, every DJ that was active in the Twin Cities played this thing.
All hands on deck.
From like 8 p.m. to like 7 in the morning or something. I mean, sun coming up, people leaving type of thing. And literally, I think they were the last group to go on. So like the sun was up. People were like sleeping on benches and stuff. And, you know, that was our little way of initiating them in. And from that moment on, they were always a part of it.
The kind and gentle initiation of the big brothers.
You got to pay your dues.
Yeah, this is true. We're going to spend some time today talking about Michael Larson and listening to music from sort of all different points in his career, from the newest stuff. We'll get back into some more from By the Throat and all the E&A stuff, Carbon Carousel, Face Candy, and more. Stick around. We're going to start with something that's much older, though. Before there was Eyedea and Abilities, there was Sixth Sense, right?
Yeah.
And this is we're going to play a track called Be Alright from a record that Mikey and Max, Eyedea and Abilities, made for Mikey's grandmother. Is that right? Am I getting this right?
The grandparents,
Which he referred to
as the Grands.
Lovingly as the Grand. So this is from a collection called Grand Sixth Sense, a song called Be Alright on the local show.
the type of girl that walks in front of you and makes your jaw drop. She talks in riddles and sorta tickles your soft spot. You see her in the club, she treats you like a scrub. She ain't tripping off you, she got your whole crew in love. Yeah, you're daydreaming of getting her in that bedroom alone. Straight fiending, you beg like a dog for the bone. And she's peeping, and the reason is she knows there's a demon in between your legs with a mind of its own. Now you're a weakling, overwhelmed with hormones. Y'all start speaking, she grabs a number to your phone. And next weekend, you invited to your home. You weren't even thinking, you got played by a pro. She's a big shot, thick lips, nice legs, green eyes. Took advantage of 1,000, only slept with 3 guys. Ain't a homo or groupie, Jane Doe or a Lucy. Her innocent looks are deceiving, so I'm telling you to be wise. Hey, yo, I know she's a cutie, but she goes for the Lucci. Sure, her words sounded sincere, she even made me cry. Hey, yo, don't think I'm goofy, but there's power in that. Underneath those booty tight cut off Daisy Dukesy Lee. She's a big shot, you know your dream girl. She knows how to use her looks to take advantage of the world. She's a big shot, thought you could school her. She dissed you like you were neutered and told you to go get a sexual tutor. She's a big shot, she won't touch your ruler. She's so beautiful, a cupid crew, looter, user, and abuser. She's a big shot, your eyes are glued to her behind. You know her steez, but you fall for it every time. Now, what about that popular school kid? The always have been, always will be cool kid. The class president, valedictorian, A+ star quarterback, Cadillac convertible driving, signing cheerleaders' autographs, the letter on the jacket, medal around the neck, pin on his chest, and mind on his rep. He only dates models, drinks his summit from the bottle. When he walks, he waddles, and he ain't never lost a squabble. He put you in the locker and took your girlfriend to prom. He's in your life every day, and you can't wait till it's gone. But daddy owns a business, so it won't be long for he inherits it, makes carrots, and sings a rich man's song. He got the most expensive clothes and jewelry to wear. While you're looking for a job, he's looking in the mirror. He walks the halls surrounded by his fan club, starts fashions, trends, and hits the ceiling when he stands He's up. He's a preppy, fame-hogging, pig-headed fool. When he has a party, everyone's invited except you and your crew. And there really ain't nothing y'all can do. He's in every state, city, and town as long as they got a school. He's a big shot, think not in his wallet. Parents got enough money to send your whole family to college. He's a big shot, testosterone thirsty, hallway father figure with his masculinity stained on his jersey. He's a big shot, IB class whiz kid, bragging about a big hit, that chicken this He's a big shot. Yeah, I'm about to break down my favorite type of big shot right here. My favorite are the rappers, the egotistical, the people that never clap for you, said they think you're whacker than them cause they're the masters. I bet disaster is caused in your mind when you rhyme and plaster they jaw shut with the fat verse. To him you're a hazard, weak matter, a reason for laughter. He's preaching, he's live, but he's only that word back. After he dies, you can climb the ladder, start a chapter, arch your capture finally. But while he reasons, he's no even flatter. A mat-a-tat of his acrobatical arrogance to his genetically engineered emotional pattern of tearing kids in battles. That'll explain why he mean mugs. He told you your team sucks, said you was a cream puff and fled. Now you dream of choking him with that white cord. Instead he blows your mind straight out your head with that hardcore tear him season. Send him to therapy. He says we stuff with clarity and cry hysterically as he makes a parody of your passion. You tell your friends you think he's tight, but secretly you hope his career won't be lasting cause he's an all flat. But you know he got a nice sound. You know what else? What? You looking at him right now. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's just idea and ability. I mean, why are these rappers having no idea? You know why? Cause I'm a big shot. Don't front, you know you love me. Girls never wash their hands after they get a chance to touch I'm me. A big shot. You can say I'm a creep, but put me in a room with your idols and I'll make them look weak. I'm a big shot. I can't nobody fade me. The only way we could do a song is if somebody paid me. I'm a big shot, big props. The best thing to ever happen in the history of hip-hop.
The local show is supported by Vitamin's 5th anniversary party, celebrating the best in local arts and entertainment with the Hold Steady and special guest on Friday, November 18th. Tickets on sale now at vita.mn.
The experience that Jade's logic and pays an agnostic place to lay indicate a toxic waste. So most carry identity paraphernalia to familiarize with smiles and meaning painted on a robotic face. But not this man, he played the bucket with his hands and got paid. But whatever changed, people were dropping his can. 23 years ago, he was a lawyer by description. But I guess all of a sudden he resigned from that position. But I've never seen the sky quite as clear as his eyes, as his blistered fingers beat down on the plastic. And in a twisted sort of way, it all makes sense. While they rush to die, he provides a soundtrack so tragic. He sits on the corner of 7th and 1st, and I was thirsty for the answer to a question anyone would nurse. One day I asked him why he gave up his career. He said I didn't, I just took off the name tag. Then he added, make money and die, that's the American way. It don't matter what name you gave the bucket that you played. Make money and die, that's the American way. It don't matter what name you gave the bucket that you played. So I took in what was said, but I didn't accept it. Well, maybe I did, I just wouldn't admit it. I was too committed to the belief that all the hard work of now will improve my future existence somehow. So I said you don't accomplish nothing sitting in the street, and I'm sure you barely survive off the pennies you gather. He said, to your surprise, I make enough to eat, and I accomplish just as much as you, only I stopped pretending my job matters. He looked me in my face and told me I was a puppet, and what I do's no more important than playing a bucket. I still hear his voice when I set my alarm before bed. I never could wash what he said out of my head. So if up it goes, make money and die, that's the American way. Make money and die, that's the American way. Make money and die, that's the American way. It don't matter what name you gave the bucket that you play. Make money and die, that's the American way. Make money and die, that's the American way. Make money and die, that's the American way. It don't matter what name you gave the bucket that you play. See, I can dress myself up in a white coat and say I'm a doctor, carry an eye by my belt buckle with a gold badge and say I'm a cop. Or maybe I'm just a sloppy, lazy, crazy carbon copy, part of the heartlessly deranged nation that gave me the generation ecstasy underwater. A forgotten survivor with a mind washed and slaughter. I've watched your offers, caught your calls, and called your forefathers my bosses. Lost it all in the name of gaining enough to spend. Consumingly useless, don't spring your doom from the end, my friend. See, when I saw my man playing away in his drum, something clicked in my brain and I became less numb. I'm working for breadcrumbs, pretending there's a meaning, but my employment's just a bucket I'm desperately beating. And one day I'll be old and retired, looking at my life like what a waste of good fire. All because school never taught me how to be inspired, and the job concern and finding myself just wouldn't hire. Make money and die, that's the American way. Make money and die, that's the American way. Make money and die, that's the American way. It don't matter what name you gave the bucket that you play. Make money and die, that's the American way. Make money and die, that's the American way. Make money and die, that's the American way. But hey, here's my application. How much do y'all pay?
The local show on 89.3 The Current. We are spending some time taking a look back at the musical career and the life of Michael Larson, Eyedea. We just heard some stuff from the Oliver Hart record, The Many Faces of Oliver Hart, or How I Won the Right to Think, which came out back in 2002. How Much Do You Pay is the name of that track. Eyedea and Ability's Big Shot from the Firstborn release, and some unreleased stuff from Max and Michael's first project. Before there was Eyedea and Abilities, there was Sixth Sense. That was from a collection called Grand Sixth Sense. And the name of that song was Be Alright. I'm joined in the studio today by Kathy Averill, Mikey's mom, and Siddiq, the head of Rhymesayers Entertainment. And there's this commemoration, a dedication ceremony, a bench and a picnic table will be placed in Cherokee Park on Sunday, October 16th. And people will be gathering from 11 a.m. till 7 p.m. You're making food for the whole crew.
I am. I'm cooking.
For everybody.
For everybody.
And there's going to be performances. We're not talking about who it is, but it's I'm sure Mikey had some wonderful friends.
Yeah, he did. And the mayor's opening the dedication.
The mayor's going to be there?
Yep.
Wow.
He's speaking first.
It's official.
Yep.
It's official.
So, it's funny. We heard three things in that set of music that are all like really pretty different. Mikey was a restless soul musically. It didn't ever seem like he rested on one sort of sound or idea or style for very long. What was it like for you to see that, as your son, from an artistic sense, kind of always doing something, creative? And how did that work out with you running a label, putting out his stuff when he's just always got all these different ideas and things?
Mike was always like that. It didn't matter. Once he figured out how to build the forts and make them 2 stories with a hidden escape route and stuff, he moved on to something else. So it wasn't just art. It was everything in Mike's life. When he learned and read quantum physics and he figured it out, and then he moved to mechanics, and then he moved to the neurological ways that your mind works.
I remember reading about brains.
Yeah. A lot. He was very interested in your brain and how it all connected and how it all worked. And then he moved on. I mean, Mike had his first anatomy book. He was probably 6 or 7 years old. It was a coloring book. It was the Graves Coloring Anatomy book. Mm-hmm. It was taking apart, plastic models and figuring out where their veins were going and how it ran and all this stuff. Once he figured out something and learned it and felt he knew it as well as he was going to, he moved on to something else. And that was the same thing with music. Once he figured out he learned this and this was as far as he was going, he moved on to something else.
So he really had a thirst for new experiences.
Yep.
And then, musically, I mean, what was that like for you? I'm sure he'd come and pitch you ideas on like the Carbon Carousel record, sure, the Face Candy record, the Oliver Hart record. Just put out a record under his own name, and now he wants to do like a pseudonym.
I mean, like Kathy said, really, and if you spent time with Mike, you knew this right away. That was his life. I mean, he really lived life that way. So and for us, it was always more than music. And so, I mean, like I was mentioning to Kathy earlier, like when they started coming around, they were Sixth Sense. And I was like, oh, cool. This a young, energetic hip-hop duo, I was like, this is fresh, and they were super young and just really raw and talented. Mm-hmm. And that was a really cool thing to me, being older. And literally, they scrapped, the bulk of what they had done up to that point, with the exception of what went on with like one of the Headshots tapes, and made Firstborn, which was completely
stylistically
different direction, left field. And I was like, okay, this is interesting. And I think a lot of, people felt that way. But what that taught me really early on was this was an artist that was going to do what he felt, and whatever that was, he was going to chase that and go with that. And so over the years, I learned that about Mike, that he liked to master things. And when he felt he mastered them, or once he felt he completed something, he wanted to move on to challenge himself to learn something new. For me, it may not always be the best business thing, mm-hmm, when it comes to art and artists and marketing that. Mm-hmm. But to me, it was amazing in the sense of being someone who appreciates the art, because I never knew what he was going to bring to the table. Yeah. And for me, I never looked at it as investing in a artist or a musician. And most of our artists are that way. I always looked at us as, being partners and investing in him as a person and an artist.
Right.
So it almost didn't matter what he brought to the table, because that really wasn't what it was about. It wasn't about whether or not I liked what he was doing. It was about what he was doing. And right, so whatever that was interested me. So yeah, so it creates challenges from a business standpoint. Yeah. But fortunately, that really wasn't the main thing that connected us. wasn't business, you know.
Right. Stylistically, would you guys say that you had a favorite period of Mikey's musically?
Yeah, I mean, it's the stuff that hasn't been released yet, or the grand stuff that we just released. Because a lot of that stuff to me was fun, and that was the first time they got to swear. And so it was just new and exciting, and I mean, I have favorites on everything.
Yeah.
I mean, and all of their music is great. I mean, all of Mikey's, even the Face Candy and Carbon Carousel and his solo stuff is really good. So I have favorites on each album, but I don't have a more favorite than others.
What about you, Siddiq?
You know, I would say the same thing. Some of this, you know, stuff that hasn't been heard and By the Throat. And the reason being By the Throat is because I felt like they were getting into this place where they were figuring out how to take a lot of the things they learned and a lot of the things that they had mastered and a lot of the things they had done over the years and put it into one thing, which to me was very cool. You know, and I don't feel they had completely mastered it yet, but I feel like that's kind of where they were working their way to mastering, which to me was really cool to be able to see them go through all these transitions musically and as artists and bring it back to this thing that you could pick out bits and pieces of all of those things. And that to me was really cool.
Yeah, I felt the same way about the By the Throat record. It was really an integration of all the different stuff that they were curious about.
Yeah, for sure.
Sunday, October 16th, Cherokee Park in St. Paul from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. A gathering of friends and family and fans for the dedication of a park bench and picnic table in honor of Michael Eyedea Larson. Let's spin some more music here from Eyedea. We're going to hear from Carbon Carousel and Face Candy, a couple of Mikey's more challenging projects in just a little bit. First, we're going to do one from the ENA record called Now. This is Eyedea and Abilities on the local show.
Check it out now, this is a necessary change from the grim, simple, and plain. Gonna exercise that brain to break the chain. Pain is a part of game, no need to explain. We innovate to generate it intricately interwoven tapestry, musical and ethical epiphanies. The industry's minimal amount of muscle with the anchor that can take it all the way to where the sun is black. I run a lap, I run a ton of tunnel through a simple simile, a simple sentiment. Adrenaline is coming back, I'm in a minute city. What it's to be a superstar, I'd rather be a galaxy. But how you see it so dependent on a medicine and rhetoric and how I'm bending any second you're thinking is I'm sitting at the brink of this world is all asleep and I have no apologies. I breathe, keep my side on what we ride on. Let bygones be bygones, the migraines don't sidetrack my final destination. Nothing rivals for determination to exterminate the germination of a nation that accepts anything that's thrown in its fat face. Cause when there's nothing left, there's no more point in the rat race. We don't waste a minute of the day, don't be offended when I'm saying finish, send it all the way another stage. A creative, alternative, rated and graded, a crazy maniac melody getting all up in your face. Wait, success ain't only based on self-esteem. It takes a sense to differentiate between what's yours and someone else's dreams. I felt the screams climbing up my cold spine, saying now it's time. Gotta give it all my energy to get rid of the enemy and set it so. Yeah, here, yeah. Move it up together now. Yeah. The better kid in the highly original. Yeah. Move it up together now. Yeah.
Sick of the same old thing. 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 Same old.
Us and touch what we can't see. Twist that knife and watch them bleed. Lost inside, it's way too deep. Someone choke me, help me breathe.
have the answers.
I wish I had the answers.
I know you have the answers.
I severely feel like I don't know. I severely feel like I'm so froze. Severely feel like I should severely feel when I can get out of that early, clearly eerie field and let your ears just peel. She probably missed the first one. Missed the first one. But still I was the first one, that real person, to see another person as a person. And when other people don't see you as such, I know the feeling is naturally hurt, and it's okay. It's okay. You're not alone, you're not alone. The wind doesn't blow that way. Cause from where I stay, the wind blows us away from the rest and together, so we can put ourselves on display for the world. So we can say this is major, this is secret, this is deep-ish, this is not much just a weekend favor, this is real, this is something that'll last much longer, something that's so much later, something that's so much stronger, something that's conquered the monsters that live inside the circuitry and wiring so purposely. You hired me to first see what water was spilt, what daughter had guilt because she wasn't loved right, what sunshine never really feels lovely. Where do we take ourselves? Where do we carry ourselves? Embrace ourselves before we break our health. Cause the only thing we're looking at is the scraping, melting trees that are scathing, bathing in the dissected, unprotected, corrective scathing that we're all losing. We're bruising the inside of our teeth, fighting on the same thing. But I'm here to rip your jaws open even when they're clenched tight. I'm here to shed tears. I'm here to stay up all night. I'm here, and I'll never leave. I'll never leave you. I'll never leave you. I'll never leave you. I'll always believe you. I'll always believe you. So put the B in front of it. Put the bumblebee for the birds and the bees that I guess naturally are running this emotional chemical imbalance that we have. But it's all I have, so I'm glad. And one day I'll be a dad, and we'll walk and the shadows won't seem that deep. The shadows won't come up when we're asleep. The shadows won't weep for me no more, cause I'm leaving all the graveyards behind. And I'm polishing up my mind, and I'm leaving you with one thing to know. I'm yours, you're mine, and if the world doesn't know, that's fine. We decide.
We didn't know the meaning of. She was my dream girl. I was her trunk, and we were too young, dumb, compulsive, loaded guns in love. People show you their past by how they walk when there's wind. They tell you their history by how close their bones are to their skin. She learned to be ashamed of the body she was in. From a big world that decided beauty's only in the eye of the fin. So it's binge and purge, stomach acid burn. She sings perfectly in tune, but no one understands her words. She said, build me a castle. So I went to work and ignored the problem in the almighty name of her. I've been here before, it happens every time. I stay so focused on the light. Oh, I've gone blind, time slipped by, didn't realize she was disappearing into thin air right in front of my eyes. Wise men used to say to me, don't play with smoke and mirrors. I'm up to a pack in a half a day, and I sleep go home, kill ourselves and our radios. Where's my head? This isn't mine. Nobody loves a thing, everyone's going crazy in control. It's not my fault, they'll be sorry once I skin them. Scared to life, painless death. Make sure she knows I love her right before she floats away. I can't hear you, screams too loud. All my ideas become perfect little blind spots. Fold me in, tucked away. I'm starting to think I never learned what I need to learn. All things past, we bruise skin, holding on to things that we shouldn't be allowed to keep. Make them proud, dredged in guilt. Call me when the miracle reduces to coincidence. My casted wings are almost up now. I can't feel a thing, just like you promised. I was always bad at being good. I was always bad at being good. I was always bad. There's no hell more harsh than the memory. There's no home more hell than the emptiness. Winter takes the warm away, spring takes the cold away, summer takes the rain away, and fall took away my friend. I believe there's never a place better than right where you are. Although imagining an afterlife can tend to mend a broken heart over someone dead, it's my way of coping with loss. But I don't need you out there somewhere if I have you in my thoughts. I don't envy anyone in a position where they're forced to choose, pull the plug or not. Can't tell if this is for me or you. Mean I know you're sick, tired and confused, but sometimes letting the tired go to sleep is the best thing to do. I will hold your head while the doctor sticks the needle in. I'll always remember our companionship and what you meant. And on Sunday, October the 5th, you took your last breath. You will be missed. My casted wings are almost up now. I can't feel a thing, just like you promised.
It's the local show on 89.3 The Current. That was music from Eyedea and Ability's Hay Fever. It was recorded live for the local show back in 2009. Carbon Carousel in that set as well. Skinny from the Nervous release, and Face Candy's Pillow Bite from the album This Is Where We Were. And some Eyedea and Abilities on the front side as well now from the E&A record. We're taking some time to talk about Michael Larson, a.k.a. Eyedea. There's going to be a gathering on Sunday, October 16th in Cherokee Park in St. Paul, Minnesota from 11 a.m. till 7 p.m. Friends, family, fans, all welcome. There's going to be a dedication of a park bench and a picnic table in his memory, food and music, breakdancing, stories, people just hanging out, throwing the bee around, whatever it is that you like to do. The Cherokee Park's a great place to do it. And Kathy Averill, Mikey's mom, and Siddiq, the head of Rhymesayers Entertainment, joined me in the studio here today. Oh, by the way, Michael Larson, LARSEN.com for all the information on the dedication ceremony. So Mikey's death really rocked the music community in a way that I haven't ever experienced in the 15 years that I've been working in the Twin Cities music community. What was it about him, do you think, that allowed him to connect with so many people on such a substantial level, a deep level?
I think because Mike looked at people and as real and empathetic, and that there are certain universal themes that as humans we all have, and he understood that, and he tried to convey that. That made him easy to connect with for people. He had an unbelievable memory. If he met you at a show in New York and then saw you 4 years later, he'd still remember, oh yeah, I remember, and are you doing this now or are you doing that now? Whereas a lot of people, especially I think artists and musicians and stuff, you meet hundreds of thousands of people in a year, and it's hard to remember who that was or where that was or what city you were even in to do that. And Mikey was very good at doing that. He was able to remember and pick out people and things like that. And so that made him more valuable to fans, because if they met him or talked to him, and he would remember them, and then they had more of a connection to him, and that then facilitated the personal aspect instead of just an artist or somebody on stage. And I think that makes a big difference when someone passes, is that personal connection.
What about you, Siddiq?
He enjoyed living life in the sense that, some people get very consumed with their own life. It's very easy to do, whether it's, work, family. There's not much time in the day to really connect a lot of times. And that's a common thing. And I think Mike was always one of those types of people that really wanted to connect to people. If he stopped to talk to you, sometimes, we just naturally, we ask how people are doing. Mm-hmm. Because it's the polite thing to do, and we care, but in the back of our mind, we're probably thinking about, I got to be to my kid's soccer game, or I got to get to work in 10 minutes, or whatever it is. Mike was very free in the sense that when he stopped to ask you how you were doing, he really, truly wanted to know how you were doing. He really wanted to connect with what was going on with you. And that's a unique trait. And I think that carried through not just his personal life, but also his artistic life with his music and everything. And so that same effect he had on people, he had on the music community. He really wanted to get into what people were doing and what this was about for you, and share what he knew and share what his thoughts were and stuff. So he really, truly connected with people in general. And I think that just kind of transcended into everything he did as an artist.
One of the things I remember most about him is that for every show I saw him perform, I saw him at like 5 other shows.
Yeah.
He never stopped going out to different things, and it was always in the strangest places. I've learned very on with Mikey that I'm not going to see him at just the hip-hop shows. Mm-hmm. I'm going to see him at the jazz nights.
No, he wanted to truly experience everything. That's always amazed me, because I fall into that category myself of someone who wants to experience way more than I ever do on a daily basis. Mm-hmm. Because I'm part of a rat race trying to just, keep above water and stay afloat and do all the millions of things that I'm dealing with and doing. That's a very unique situation to have that situation, but then also just embrace it and really go out there and live and experience different things. Like, he really embodied that.
Do either of you have a message for Mikey's fans? Is there anything you wanted to say to him?
Well, my mom says quite often, be a better person and do the right thing, which is what she has interpreted Mikey's lifestyle as. Sometimes doing the right thing isn't beneficial for you, but you should still do it. Mm-hmm. Get involved in people and be consciously aware of the things you say and do have effects on other people.
He sort of lived that way, didn't he?
He did live that way. He really tried to. He tried very hard to be true to who he was and yet still let other people be who they are. Even when people were giving him death threats and trying to, do all kinds of things, when he changed his music and stuff, he was letting them do that. And he took that very personal, and it was very hurtful to him. But he didn't come out and retaliate and do things and say stuff to fans or to put stuff on the internet or whatever, or didn't make his music more as a retaliation about this person's being bad or doing this or, they can't understand or whatever. He just understood, okay, that's what they think and that's how they are. That's not how I'm going to be.
Sunday, October 16th, we'll be gathering in Cherokee Park in St. Paul, Minnesota to remember Michael Eyedea Larson. Friends, family, fans, all welcome for the dedication of a park bench and a picnic table. There'll be food and music, performances, and people telling stories and hanging out. And you can go to michaellarson.com for all the details and make it out to that event. I want to thank you guys so much for stopping by to share some stories and your thoughts about Mikey. I'm actually really looking forward to this.
It'll be fun. Yeah. It'll be interesting.
We're going to play one more from Mikey before we go. An unreleased track, which is called Ode to Hip Hop, which was recorded back in, what'd you say, 1996?
Probably a little bit earlier than that even, but yeah, probably circa 95, give or take, around there.
This is something that he and Max did?
Yeah.
Yep.
His love letter to the form.
Yep.
All right, Eyedea and Abilities. This is Ode to Hip Hop on The Local Show.
I've decided to take my destiny into my own hands. You probably can't land, and I have this constant hollow feeling. Days are cold, dark, and filled with sorrow. Raining clouds from under my ceiling. Dealing with it all would take a person very strong. By the time you hear this, I will be gone. Along with my existence will be a way of life for many. I gave some substance, knowledge, and in return was used to make a petty penny. They defeated my purpose, deleted my work, and cheated me, seated me underground and wound up bringing me to the surface. They've corrupted my image, made me a negative influence. The shady world has been abusive ever since I came into it. Put here with no role models, no one to follow. I've been contorted, aborted, recorded, distorted, shorted. I forfeit against life. I'm a morbid maniac, forced off this rough course, breaking the boards and making my own door. So don't be sad when I leave, cause I know this is right. I can't take it, I can't fake it. I'm sick of life. I carried people through hard times and thought they were my friends, but they only stayed close to me cause it was the trend. And when I'm gone, no one will miss me. A few years will go by, important people will die, and y'all will forget me. I hope the children will be alright without a proper guide. To all my loved ones and followers, peace out, at least I tried. I ain't what I used to be, so don't shed a tear from your windows. I died a long time ago, this just makes it official. I ain't what I used to be, so don't shed a tear from your windows. I died a long time ago, this just makes it all official. Hip-hop, being of sound mind and body, hereby request that my few prized possessions go to the following. Swallowing the facts, so maybe whacked by the tracks, still beauty stands from stained hands and knapsacks filled with aerosol cans and fat caps. My abstract artistic energy must continue to influence and embody the cats that are dedicated to ruining white walls with creative strokes of imagination in the paint splash. I leave all my physical strength to the guardians of the floor, with their arms locked in the beat-boy stance, enhancing the culture to a more ultra-advanced acrobatical expression. Yes, indeed, when I leave, my presence will exist in the styles of the few true, but who knew smiles would persist with the changing mood. I leave my mood to the musicians, turntablists, and wicked wizards of needle, the dusty sample, intangible vibe-setting rhythm scientists. It's my verbal aspect of me that goes to those rising from vocalizing poetical hybrids of life and excitement, language of the tongue. I offer all my offsprings the official missile towards society, the gift of words. So come and get you some. Yes, that's the gift of words. Come and get you some. And my positivity, creativity, originality, and history should be spread equally over all the heads mentioned above, along with my many styles, aggression, knowledge, evolution, solution, revolution, tolerance, and love.